Hi, my name is Victoria Romano. According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, a reported 3.9 million dogs enter U.S. shelters annually, with 1.2 million, or 30% of them, being euthanized yearly. Deemed as man's best friend, it is no secret that Americans seek out the companionship of pets, especially dogs, and highly value them as a member of the family. In the United States, the APPA reported 54.4 million dog owners out of 79.7 million pet-owning households spent an approximate $60.6 billion on their pets in 2015. Further highlighting this phenomenon, Kim Master-Evans, author of Animal Rights, shared how even the federal government acknowledged a unique human-pet bond with passage of the Pets Evacuation and Transportation Standards Act, requiring emergency preparedness officials to accommodate for pets and service animals in disaster shelter plans. During Hurricane Katrina in 2005, Evans informs many distressed pet owners were forced to leave their animals behind, with some even refusing to leave without their pets, putting themselves in danger. Considering them as part of the family, a close friend, or something you'd be willing to face on a deadly hurricane for, dogs are an important aspect of American culture. Considering myself a dog person, I have always been interested in this topic and have cared for rescue dogs since the age of 10, successfully rehabilitating 6 of my own. Abused and neglected by previous owners, I have personally experienced their transformations from scared and distrustful to the normal free-spirited nature of any other dog. Despite their esteemed status in society, many often fail to recognize or completely ignore the origin story of their new pet and the inhumane realities facing the industry. In order to gain perspective on this topic, it's imperative to understand the most common reasons animals end up in shelters, the differences between adopting from shelters and rescue groups, and the numerous challenges and behavioral conditions dogs from these backgrounds may experience. For various reasons, unwanted dogs are abandoned at animal shelters. Because of financial instability, struggling families are often forced to give up their pets as they can no longer support them. In 2009 and 2008, the economic recession triggered an increase of pets dropped off at shelters by 400%, driving the Humane Society of the United States to establish a specialized charity that could tackle this new dilemma. Following the turn of the new millennium, North America had finally discovered the horrendous reality of puppy mills. When a herring case was discovered in Quebec, Canada, the mill was littered with piles of dead, partially eaten dogs in corners behind the barn and even hanging from rafters. Starving adult dogs were found eating their newborn puppies. Mass-producing puppies to be sold in stores, specifically pure breeds, is a large and profitable business that values net gain over the welfare of the animals. As seen in March of 2014, 130 dogs were rescued from a puppy mill in Alabama, creating an entirely new problem. Hundreds of dogs were displaced, psychologically traumatized, and in need of immediate medical attention. Outside of large corporate breeding, cases of animals abuse also largely contribute to the problem. According to Allison Gianotto, founder of PetAbuse.com, the largest portion of animal cruelty cases were 32.4% neglect or abandonment, 12.4% hoarding. Hoarding alone has claimed thousands of victims, as only one culprit can generate a great deal of harm. Similar to other disorders showing obsessive-compulsive behavior, animal hoarders tend to believe they are doing the right thing in keeping as many pets as possible in their homes. Personally, 2 of my own rescue dogs were saved from the overcrowded, and unsanitary conditions of living in a single-bedroom RV with 60 other malnourished dogs and cats. Understanding the numerous circumstances in which dogs become displaced, let's look at the rehome process and how rescue dogs differ from shelters. Unlike shelters, rescue groups don't focus on quick turnout and have the resources to rehabilitate their animals. While shelters are typically managed and funded by local government powers, rescue groups usually rely only on donations and are staffed by volunteers. Typically, pets are put into foster homes where they'll be house-trained and taught how to go on walks, interact with other dogs, and enjoy human companionship. Another significant difference is the time allotted to animals in shelters versus rescue groups. Shelters typically will hold onto an animal for about a week, but can range from as little as 48 to 72 hours before euthanizing. Usually more meticulous rescue groups may want to conduct a home visit before finalizing an adoption and will probably contact your veterinarian and references as well. The dogs are also typically spayed or neutered and vaccinated and will often require all pets in the home to be as well. Although prices may vary, the general range will be between $25 and $250, though some groups will organize free adoption campaigns. For my dogs, I paid around $75, and one of them, Lucy, was actually free. After learning about the adoption process, we can further examine the behavioral obstacles one may expect to see in rescue dogs. Traumatized or neglected, dogs from various backgrounds gather in shelters and are in need of behavioral rehabilitation. Widely recognized dog behaviorist Jean Donaldson explains dogs with behavior problems tend to languish long in shelters due to the understandable reluctance on the part of most adopters to take on a dog with possible ongoing behavioral challenges. One of the most common issues abandoned dogs face is separation anxiety. Illustrated by distressing vocalizations, panic, and property destruction, this behavior can be extremely disruptive to the daily lives of future adoptees. Unlike normal dogs that get to sniff around and make continuous social contact, rescue dogs coming from either puppy mills or animal shelters may develop something called barrier frustration. In a low stimulation environment punctuated by people and other dogs going by, the dog's urge to meet and investigate is repeatedly frustrated. Through classical conditioning, the dog will begin to associate people and dogs with feelings of frustration and agitation, causing them to display more intense and often aggressive behavior. One of the more difficult concerns for shelters is house training regression, which can be more easily fixed in rescue groups. Staying in kennels for a long period of the day, dogs will miss out on learning simple things like potty training and going for walks. When adopting a brand new puppy, it can be easy to fall in love with their innocent, sparkling eyes and forget the industry that feeds on consumer ignorance. Remembering to look into what our money is supporting can help us become responsible pet owners and help protect the rights of the animals. Quoting the director of the Stop Puppy Mills campaign for the HSUS, Stephanie Shame, puppy mill operators count on people to be so overwhelmed by the cuteness that they just can't leave the little bundle behind. But people must understand when they take the puppy home, they've opened up a space for the next one to fill. Thank you.